Show. The Nets bounce back from their loss down in Orlando. They win tonight 113-106. They hold off the Washington Wizards. And Frank, this was a game that went back and forth early on.
Yeah.
The Nets grabbed control back and they were able to hold off the Wizards lead.
Yeah, the Nets were really struggling in the fourth quarter offensively. The first 9.5 minutes, they only scored 13 points. And then in the last 2:40, they scored 10, and that was Nicholas Claxton with a couple of big three-point plays.
Since February 10th, the Brooklyn Nets have the best record in the NBA. They're 15-2. They've won 15 of their last 17 games. And now the Wizards have lost 8 of their last 10. They're 2-8 in their last 10. Let's go down the stretch, check out some key plays here. Kyrie Irving. Watch the look here, Frank.
And Claxton gets fouled. That's when the Nets were only up by 1. That was a huge possession. Westbrook obviously comes back here. But the Nets making the plays down the stretch. Kyrie Irving doing a really good job drawing fouls, but also here, a little handoff to Nicholas Claxton. And more, here's the thing, too. You're scoring in traffic around the rim, but then he knocks down the free throw. That's what you want to see.
Kyrie Irving had 28. James Harden, not pictured here on this graphic, had 26. Blake Griffin had a dunk in his Nets debut. And Nicholas Claxton had 17 points. But let's talk about Blake Griffin now. He hasn't played in over a month, Frank. His last game was February 12th.
Yes.
When he was with the Detroit Pistons. Is this what you expected from him tonight?
Absolutely. Because remember, he said he wasn't injured. They were just giving him a body maintenance to get himself ready to play these games. They knew not a lot of pressure. He's going to be coming off the bench and wasn't going to play a lot of minutes. I thought that he played well for the most part. I thought in the first half, the block shot on Bradley Beal, drawing the charge on Bradley Beal was important. And, of course, he had a dunk, his first dunk since 2019. But that dunk, by the way, was in Mexico. His last dunk in the United States before tonight, December 6th, 2019, against the Indiana Pacers.
So right before Mexico, he had his last dunk on U.S. soil, and now he has his latest dunk on U.S. soil. Of course, this is the one from Mexico City in December 12th, 2019, as he goes baseline here.
When you do it, you say, "Olé!"
And he throws it down. And then tonight, after we see a nice little replay, low angle under the basket, tonight, Griffin did a little soaring through the lane for his dunk.
And it was a pump fake, which got got the defender up in the air. Here's the block shot on Bradley Beal, and then later on he's going to take the charge here on Bradley Beal. Both really good defensive plays by Blake Griffin. And then here you go, gets Robin Lopez on the pump fake, drives down the lane unmolested. And I said it before the game, too. We were talking about it. I thought he would get a dunk in this game because I think everyone has been making such a big deal over the fact he hasn't had a dunk in that long.
Well, we're talking about a guy that has multiple injuries to his knees. He did one time win the dunk contest, didn't he? And he jumped over a car to do it?
Well, anybody can do that. I think he was just showing off at that point. But I thought for the most part, again, I think when people heard the Nets were getting Blake Griffin, I think they thought they were getting the player the first few years with the Clippers, who was an all-star. He's a good player. He's going to be a role player on the Brooklyn Nets. And I think you saw a bit of a glimpse of that tonight. What you liked was the block shot and taking the charge on Bradley Beal.
Well, yeah, a little bit of a rim protector, play a little defense. The points will be gravy for the Nets, but just having him out there, getting him some minutes, especially with Harden and Kyrie on the floor at the same time, too, that helps.
Because he can still score, and you like him in the post. Not a lot of players like to operate down there. You know, it could be somewhat similar. You know, Larry Johnson was a guy when he was with Charlotte. I'm going way back now. He played above the rim. Then he had back injuries, and then he learned to kind of operate in the post with quick movements. Blake Griffin has the ability to do that. Plus, he's a very good passer.
I was giving Frank the old.
It's hard to do a B.
Yeah, it is hard.
Or
to
a
do
G.
Yeah. Well, we had a little scare with James Harden right before the half. He took a shoulder to his face, but he was back on the floor for the start of the second half. Unfortunately, Landry Shamet twisted his ankle here, Frank, in the third quarter, and he didn't come back.
Yeah, and I thought Sarah was doing a good job kind of explaining why a foul wasn't called there. And Neto's feet were already down. He's not really invading his airspace. That's just an unfortunate thing for Landry Shamet, where he comes down on the back of Neto's foot, twists his ankle, needed to be helped off the court, did not return. So, you know, hopefully maybe tonight within the coming days, we'll learn his status for the Portland game.
Yeah, that was actually a good job by Neto there. He kind of went to the side. It's just that other foot was just stuck where it
And that's what happens.
down.
And we're seeing now in the NBA, LeBron, we'll get into it with LaMelo Ball as well. All these injuries now, a lot of times you're just unlucky. To me, that's an example of being unlucky.
He's getting a scan tomorrow, is Landry Shamet. So there you go. All right, we're going to step aside, take our first break here on the postgame show. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Steve Nash on his team's win tonight over the Washington Wizards. They get one against Washington. They're now 1-2. We'll also hear from Ryan and